we have more Mandalorian news, and this one I'm a little bit more excited about than the Boba Fett stuff. Hello everyone, I am still Mecha Random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube harpy. Alright, so we got some Star Wars stuff. Did I say Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica? It's all the same. We've been talking Battlestar Galactica in chat. We are in the middle of the live stream, as we usually are, for a lot of these little stories that are kind of not really worthy of a whole video, but I'll clip them anyway just in case. Katee Sackhoff! Yay! Yay! I always love seeing her in things because she's one of my favorite actors, I think, and actresses, I suppose, if we want to really get into the specifics. She's one of my favorite people in current modern day sci-fi because she's just got that personality. She's the one I always wanted to play Captain Marvel, and she could have easily done it. She doesn't look any older than the one we got. I mean, that's for sure.
I don't have negative energies. I have loving energies, and this unicorn is gonna love all of my energies, and if she doesn't, then she can just go back to her sad little forest, okay?
So yeah, Katee Sackhoff, really like her. This is just going to be a lot of member berries for people who really like that, probably. And if not, then they'll do a really good character with a good fan favorite actress. They seem to be hiring all the right people. Look for Cara Dune or whatever. Why can I not remember? Gina Carano, that's her name. These are people who like Star Wars tend to like. You know, they're doing this. They're doing a solid. They're bringing back the actor from way back from the prequels to come in and now be Boba Fett in The Mandalorian, which makes sense. Even though I always was under the impression that The Mandalorian was going to be originally, it was just like a reworking of what was going to be the Boba Fett movie anyway. So I was under the impression it was a reworking of that, but yeah, Katee Sackhoff, sure. I mean, at least if I'm not somebody who liked Rebels or Clone Wars or even wanted to watch them, at least give me an actor that I can get on board with. And who do I like all the time? I always like people like Katee Sackhoff. I always like these, good, recognizable sci-fi sort of actors. Clone Wars is amazing, Greg Kirby said. I'm gonna take you guys' word for it. Boba Fett movie is Mando show. What if the Boba Fett actor can't act? See, well, he was in Aquaman, too. He was the guy who was Aquaman's dad. Now, he was, Jango Fett in the prequels, right? This is me trying to remember the prequels. But then again, I think we all know that I wasn't, the biggest fan of the prequels.
Say something about the motherfucking prequels, bitch!
And Fenderfire says, Hail Mecca, Reggie Wolfpack. What's up, Mecca? What are you talking about? Well, we're talking about Katee Sackhoff. She's going to be Bo-Katan, I'm probably saying the name wrong, in the live-action form for Mandalorian. Which season is it? Season 2. Okay, good. So Alicia's gonna be in season 2. I am still not super sold on the Mandalorian though. Nothing really other than little baby Yoda, which we all know that I absolutely love. There he is! There's a baby! Oh, there's a baby! I really love the little baby Yoda. Other than that, I mean, it's still more. Star Wars has not been a franchise that's been good to us, from people like John Campea deciding we're all a bunch of man babies every time he opens his mouth about us. There's so many things to not get excited about in Star Wars, so at least giving us an actor, at least giving me an actor I can get excited about, like Katee Sackhoff, I'm okay with. Also announced there's going to be a live-action Grand Admiral Thrawn thing. All this extended universe stuff. Well, it's a rumor. All right, so it's not official. Here we go. We'll use Bounding into Comics article because they have the best ones usually. This came out today. This is just a rumor now. Boop, Grand Admiral Thrawn to make a jump to the live action. Maybe. It's just a rumor. We don't know for sure. If they do that, it will kind of go along the lines with the current little bits of fan service by bringing in characters like Boba Fett, which, in my opinion, is just a giant bit of fan service. Will this affect, how people see the new Star Wars? Yeah, probably. It's what we always like to call on Midnight's Edge After Dark, the Star Wars Apology Tour. I can't remember if Tom or Rob came up with that one first, but That's what it really feels like, that they're going through and trying to test the waters on all the characters that are going to get fans back on board, that they're trying desperately to win back some of this audience that they said they didn't need, that they weren't focusing on, because they just took for granted the fact that older Star Wars fans were just going to dump dollar after dollar on them. And I stopped doing that 20 years ago when franchises started just being basically at minimum disappointing, at minimum putting me to sleep, at minimum something that was hard to kind of sit through. So once they started just being this combative fans versus studios sort of thing, that's when I really started speaking out and getting vocal against these studios and these companies. They spent $4 billion. They need to do something. They do. Gaming again. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. I'm terrible with usernames. Transcendent Cthulhu, winning back the man babies. Andrew Helm, it'll be a dumbed down version of Thrawn from Rebels, though. Zahn's new Thrawn trilogy got pushed back almost half a year, so there might be something to that, Chris Schumacher says. All right. So, my assessment of this is, yeah, they gotta do something. They gotta do something to get people back on board, because for every one of me that's out there who's just kind of like, I don't know how much I care about Star Wars anymore after the way we've been treated, you get 20 more people behind me who think the same way, but don't have YouTube channels who aren't saying that. You get 20 more people who just stopped watching, who don't spend their lives obsessed with these things and don't make a YouTube channel on it. You maybe more. There's probably hundreds of people who are just like, I don't care anymore. The movies haven't been that great. And to do something just to get some sort of sci-fi franchise fan recognition, some sort of a likable actor into these roles, something to get fans at least to check it out. I think this is probably a good idea. Us fans don't count, live with it. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm not really... I mean, yay, I like Katee Sackhoff, but I don't think she's gonna save The Mandalorian. It's a good way to get fans at least to check it out, though. So if the show actually does improve, and I know not many people actually had a problem with it. My only problem with it was it wasn't that interesting after all this time to revisit the Star Wars universe after, the man babies, every name that we've been called, every article hit piece that's been about Phantom Menace, it's just not easy to get back on board. And a lot of the stuff is like member berries, but at least if they're going a little bit more towards some of the harder core Star Wars fans, but going into the cartoons and the animated series and the books and the expanded universe, the old expanded universe, then at least it's a step in the right direction. I am going to go back to my live stream and tell me what you guys think in the comment section below when you see this clipped.